Hi, and welcome to PPTV's own PPInvestigates. I'm your host, Andrew.
And I'm Mitch.
And I'm Sam.
I'm Jilly.
Today we are investigating the Rodney King Beatings.
It was 1991 and Mr. King was a taxi driver who became nationally known after being beaten by Los Angeles Police Department officers following a high-speed car chase.
A local witness, George Holliday, videotapes much of it from his balcony and sent this footage to a local news station. The footage shows 4 officers surrounding King, several of them striking him repeatedly, while other officers stood by. Part of the footage was aired around the world, inflaming outrage in cities where racial tensions were high and raising public concern about police treatment of minorities.
4 officers were charged with assault with a deadly weapon and use of excessive force. They were acquitted of all charges. The jury acquitted the 4th of assault with the deadly weapon, but failed to reach a verdict on the use of excessive force. The acquittals are generally considered to have triggered the 1992 Los Angeles riots, in which 53 people were killed and over 2,000 were injured, ending only when the military was called in.
The acquittals also led to the federal government's obtaining grand jury indictments for violation of King's civil rights. The trial of the 4 in a federal district court ended on April 16, 1993, with 2 of the officers being found guilty and subsequently imprisoned. The other 2 were acquitted. Officer Tim Singer ordered King and his 2 passengers to exit the vehicle and face down on the ground. Brian Allen was manhandled, kicked, stomped, taunted, and threatened.
After King was struck by Coon's taser is the approximate start of the George Holliday videotape of the incident. In the tape, King is seen on the ground. He rises and rushes towards Powell in what was argued in the court as either to attack Powell or to flee. But regardless, King and Powell both collided in the rush. Taser wire can be seen on King's body. Officer Powell strikes King with his baton, and King is knocked to the ground. Powell strikes King several more times with his baton. Brisno moves in, attempting to stop Powell from the striking again, and Powell stands back. Coon reportedly said, "That's enough." King then rises again to his knees. Powell and Wind are then seen hitting King with their batons.
Coon acknowledged ordering the continued use of batons, directing Powell and Wynn to strike King with power strokes. According to Coon, Powell and Wynn used bursts of power strokes, then backed off. In the videotape, King continues to try to stand again. Coon orders the officers to hit his joints, hit the wrists, hit his elbows, and hit his knees, hit his ankles too.
Now we show you the clip, so you can see the brutality for yourself.
I think it's really interesting that even with this footage, 3 of the 4 officers were originally acquitted of all charges.
Just shocking. But I think in today's world, that video would have gone circulated much more, because we all saw the video, and I think it was just much more brutal than any of the other recent incidents that have been caught on film. And I think with Facebook and Instagram and all that social media that kids use these days, that it really would have recirculated a lot, and I think it would have become an even bigger issue than just riots in Los Angeles.
In addition to the extreme social media use nowadays, anyone really that would be walking on the streets has a camera that is capable of filming. And really, if an incident like that happens, it's likely that will get filmed by somebody. That's a pretty powerful thing.
I think technology has definitely had a huge impact on how we handle situations like this, because in the past, a lot of people wouldn't have been able to be exposed because newspapers and other things like that are more localized, whereas social media can be seen around the world. Like, for example, in the Baltimore riots, it was seen worldwide, even in other countries, other continents, and I think that has a very interesting effect on events like these.
Thank you for watching PPTV. I'm Andrew.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Jilly.
And we hope you think twice next time you're walking down the street with your phone. Because maybe you can change history.